vote for Sarah Rose.
Oh. Vote for this Sarah Rose.
Oh, thanks.
What difference does it make who gets to be president? Every 4 years, we get to choose.
Vote for me, Sarah Rose.
Vote for me for a brighter future.
We need to think about the people.
Well, you definitely have my vote, Sarah Rose.
Over the next 4 episodes, we're going to take a close look at the system we have and how it works. So make sure you hit subscribe to follow along. This episode, we're starting with the big question. Why should we even care who gets to be president?
America is a democracy, which literally means power of the people. But that doesn't mean that we, the people, make laws or decisions directly. Instead, we vote to elect people to represent us, from mayors, governors, and congresspersons, right up to the president. We elect them to use their experience and expertise to make decisions on our behalf. And if we don't like what they do, we can vote them out again. We shouldn't take that for granted. Though the United States was founded on democratic principles, voting was initially restricted to a small portion of the population, generally land-owning white men. Over time, other groups won the right to vote. The 15th Amendment granted African-American men the right to vote in 1870, although many states found ways to prevent them from voting until the late 1960s. In 1920, the 19th Amendment allowed women to participate in elections for the first time. Indigenous people were granted citizenship, and with it, the right to vote in 1924. But again, it took until the 1960s for all 50 states to comply with this change. Just as voting representation has changed, so too has the makeup of those we have elected. In fact, the members of Congress in 2023-24 were the most diverse group in history. And presidents and vice presidents are becoming more diverse too. The system might not be perfect, but don't fall into the trap of thinking that just because some presidential candidates might look similar from your point of view, that makes them the same. Look closely, and each candidate will have different positions on education costs, inflation, the environment, taxation, foreign policy, healthcare. The list is endless. I reached out to Victoria Pascantonio from PBS NewsHour to find out more. Why does it matter which candidate anyone votes for?
A young person who doesn't feel that politicians speak for them can still decide between candidates by going on their website and seeing where they stand on the issues, checking various news outlets to learn about the candidates, watching political debates. No candidate is going to speak to all of your issues, but most people can find where a candidate stands on 2 or 3 issues that are important to them.
Think about what matters to you, to your family, and other people you care about. If you don't vote, then other people's issues are going to take priority. And there are plenty of examples of a small number of votes making a huge difference. The huge numbers of votes cast in every election show that it matters to a lot of people. So, who are the people we're voting for? How did their names come to be on your ballot paper? America has 2 main political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans. Becoming one of the party's chosen candidates involves planning long before Election Day, even years in advance. In fact, recent presidents' political careers go back decades. At every stage, they're planting seeds that may take years to grow. Once they've declared their intention to run for the presidency, candidates need to win a complex series of state primaries and caucuses, preliminary elections. After that, each party holds a national convention, where their nominee is formally chosen. Win that, and candidates move to campaigning across the whole country. Here's where it gets really serious, and they're going to need lots of cash. Presidential campaigns spend billions of dollars on media and advertising, staff, rallies, and increasingly, the digital battleground. Candidates may be wonderful people with great ideas, but they need to put those ideas across to the masses. And that's where you come in. We talked about the importance of voting, but historically, we haven't always seen young voters turn out in the same numbers as other age groups.
I spoke to Naraya Price, who leads the Teaching for Democracy Alliance, working with educators to increase engagement in elections. She knows a lot about the causes of reduced interest among young people.
Naraya, what are the reasons behind that?
A big indicator of a young person's likelihood to vote in the future is whether while they are in the public school system, they have access to learning that is directly related to voting and highlighting the importance of voting.
And if they don't get that?
Many young people, over half, 52%, report having issues and facing many challenges and barriers, whether it be registering to vote and not knowing how and not doing so properly, or when it comes to getting out to vote, not knowing when the election is happening, where they're able to go vote, how to take a ballot, who to vote for, right?
When you're ready to take part, it's important to stay informed about events and issues and fact-checking information before sharing it. In the next episode, we'll focus on how you can identify biases and misinformation in what you read. Remember, you're not limited to only voting. Change doesn't just happen at the national level.
There are a lot of ways for youth to get engaged in our democracy. And I think, firstly, while youth are in high school, it's an opportunity to begin to understand and exercise their civic muscle. Once youth have an understanding of issues that are particularly important to them, advocating for and making change in their community, it could be as simple as sharing things on social media that align with their values and that they believe in, creating clubs that are working to help make their school community safer, getting ingrained within their local community and organizations that exist in their community that are working to advance whatever particular issue it is that they care about.
Thanks for watching part 1 of our series on the U.S. election. Don't miss the links in the description to lesson materials and links to find out more about registering to vote. And make sure to subscribe to catch episode 2.